Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we have news on the new Roronoa Zoro, Dead Man's Drawn Sword in Hell, the new Sugo that will be arriving on his birthday, the 11th of the 11th Pacific Standard Time. And in today's video we will be breaking down what this particular legend does, his captain ability, his special, his rumble, his GP, all of that good stuff. But before I dive in, I do want to give the Twitter a huge shout out. OPTC Twitter has been absolutely killing it lately with the information, so shout out to them for the images provided and all of the info. Link in the description as always. But as you can see here and in the opening, we have a new Zoro, the ASHURA Zoro, the Dragon Twister Zoro by the look of it, where he does that cut move onto Kaido, which is going to be very, very interesting. The whole gaining Anma, all that sort of good stuff. And when I saw this in the manga, I was so excited for when the anime was going to produce it. And then once the anime did, I was so excited for this to actually come to the game. And funny enough, we actually have it in-game for the next Sugo Fest. Now, we don't know what the Sugo is going to look like. However, I am predicting that it is for Treasure Map. It could be a Treasure Map Sugo, or it could be a anniversary, like half anniversary style Sugo Fest. It does state that it is for the part 2 of the anniversary from what I saw. But we're not 100% sure if this will be a Treasure Map legend. He doesn't have Final Tap, he doesn't have Super Tandem, so I do imagine that it's probably just going to be a regular Treasure Map banner. And that's sort of what, or it's a banner that might replace Treasure Map. But I'm really hoping that it's not sort of like an exclusive anniversary character like K-Dad or the waifus. But we will have to wait and see. But my assumption is going to be that this is going to be a Treasure Map legend. So, with that said, let's dive in. Let's talk about the unit. Obviously, you guys saw in the opening as well, we're getting a new killer and a new lore. They're going to be rare recruits. We're not going to break them down in this video. We're just going to be talking about Zoro. Alright, so here he is. Roronoa Zoro. Dead Man's Drawn Sword in Hell. As you guys can see here, the first thing I notice is he is a slasher free spirit character. He has critical hit, pinch healing, and slot bind as his limit break. So like I said, no final tap, no super tandem. Always nice to see, so you guys don't have to, like, obviously pull for dupes. But Slasher Free Spirit is absolutely huge for this legend. It means that he works amazingly well with Super Tandem Luffy, as well as obviously just, like, giving extra buffs to Slashers. I got a lot of grief for not zooming in last time, so I am going to zoom in for this so you guys can see everything. As you guys can see here, he is a 6-star unit. He is super class, and at his max potential, so with Limit Break expansion, he is going to have a 14-turn cooldown, 2078 attack, 5000 HP, 300 recovery, and a 4 combo hit. And then his special Demon Aura 9 Sword Style, and then Endless Judgment for his captain ability. We'll break them down. But as you can see, like, pretty interesting. Obviously, Dex Zoro being a thing. He's always a slasher, which is always fun. And the fact that they've given him free spirit and not something like Driven is very, very interesting as well. Alright, so as for Zoro's captain ability, Endless Judgment, it's going to boost Slasher and Free Spirit characters' attack by approximately 5.4 times when slots match. 5.25 times. Otherwise, HP by 1.2 times and reduces damage taken by 10%. I don't know why the 10% damage taken, reduced damage taken is there again. It keeps popping up in literally every single unit nowadays. It's wild. But 5.4 times attack to Slashes and Free Spirit is absolutely monstrous with a matching orb. 5.25 flat rate is disgusting as well. HP 1.2 times, it's a little bit low for a Zoro character. Normally he's sitting around 1.5 times. But this guy will work very, very well with the Super type Zoro. So that way you can get a Super class and a Super type and sort of keep it a very Zoro-centric sort of team. When you tap with this character with a Tandem or Wano slot though, it will further increase the chain's multiplier additive boost effect by 0.25, except for multiplicative boost. So basically what this means is if you use a chain boost, like for example stuff like Super Tandem Shanks's or Brooks, where it's like a 1.6 plus to the chain boost, when you tap with Zoro, if he has a Tandem or a Wano slot as a captain, he's going to increase it by 0.25. So this is a pretty cool ability, a pretty nice or niche effect that not a lot of characters actually have, and the fact that Zoro can just do this with his captain is very, very interesting. It means that he works very, very well, obviously with K-Dad as a captain or hybrid option. With K-Dad, you can give him a Wano slot. You can also use stuff like Hiyori as a sub. You can use Hiyori as a support, Or you could even hybrid him up or use him alongside Super Tandem Luffy, where Super Tandem Luffy will give a full board of Tandem Orbs, and then you can actually activate this as well. So a lot of really cool things you can actually do with this character. Very, very powerful. A lot of damage being 5.4. Some nice tankiness with a little bit of HP and some damage reduction. And then obviously the extra utility there with tapping with the TNT and Water Orb is actually pretty nice. I do wish he had a Super Tandem ability, but look, I do understand why people would say no, Stump, we don't want that. But I think that a Super Tandem ability just makes characters so much stronger, and it would have pushed this character over the edge. Alright, so his special's a little bit of a novel. Demon Aura, 9 Sword Style, ASHURA Blades Drawn Dead Man's Game. It's a big ass special name. Cuts crew's HP by 20%, but deals 1 million damage to all enemies that ignores defensive effects, defense, and normal attacks only. Reduces all enemies' damage reduction and threshold by 6 turns. Boosts Slasher and Free Spirit's chain multiply growth by up to 0.6, 0.2 if you hit a good, 0.4 if you hit a great, 0.6 if you hit a perfect. And if the captain's slot is Tandem or Wano, when the special is launched, boost the chain multiplier by 1.5 times for 1 turn. So now this special is absolutely insane. Very, very, very good special. A lot of chain shenanigans, which you love to see. He's got some utility. He's got some fixed damage that goes through defensive effects and normal attacks only. And he cuts the crew's HP by 20%, which means you can actually get around stuff like stun, which is pretty nice as well. The downside to his special, obviously, having a Tandem or Wano Orb on your captain, does mean that you are going to be restricted to getting the chain multiplier, but obviously with the release of something like K-Dad and their superclass, as well as Hiyori as a sub, as I mentioned earlier, or as a support, if you're using this guy as a captain, you can easily get the Tandem Orb, you can easily get the Wano slot in multiple different ways. That 1.5 times chain multiplier boost is very similar to the super type of Yamato, where she basically increases your buff or your chain buffs by 1.5 times. And because with Zoro's special, he changes the multiplier growth rate to 0.6. If you have the Tandem or Wano Orb, you're actually going to increase your chain with every perfect by 0.9. Now, if you guys remember Sugar and the Hobby ability increasing by 0.7, this is absolutely insane. Like, it's a big chain growth. And then you can obviously stack that with stuff like chain boundary and chain boosting as well. If you have him as a captain, you increase the chain boost by 0.25. You can do some shenanigans there. But not only that, he does have that sort of wave clearing side of him. He also has utility with damage reduction and threshold removal for 6 turns as well, which is awesome. And he's boosted for Free Spirit as well as Slasher, which just makes him infinitely better in my eyes. The fact that he has Free Spirit makes him so freaking powerful. Alright, so his support goes on any Slasher character as well, and gives a 0.5 chain multiplier. Well, it's like a plus boost, so like you add 0.5 to the chain boost at the start of the final battle. Very similar to Superclass Dofi. He has the exact same ability. It's very, very nice, mainly because you can use it on any Slasher character, which is very, very powerful. And the final part of his kit is actually his Superclass. When any of the following characters are on the crew, either Luffy, Sanji, Nami, basically any of the Straw Hats, including Hiyori and Yamato, or when you boost both type effects and slot boost. So if you have characters that do a type effect or slot boost in the same special, you can get that. But look, there's a lot of very good options here. Like I said, Super Tandem Luffy, Legend Hiyori, Yamato, you can like hybrid up. There's lots of very, very good options with this particular character. He deals 75 times his attack in non-type damage to all enemies, boosts Slasher and Free Spirit characters' attack by 2.5 times for 1 turn, and then changes Slasher characters to Super Slasher. Very, very powerful. Insanely good for stuff like Treasure Map and the wave clearing shenanigans. Just going like Superclass. You also have his special to do million fixed damage, which would be great in sort of like mini boss stages as well. Like in the early stages, 1 million fixed damage is so good. Not only that, but he also gives 2.5 times attack to Slasher and Free Spirit. Now, obviously, K-Dad gives 3 times for 2 turns, which is obviously a little bit better than this. But the fact that you actually have this as a Superclass ability means that it doesn't trigger stuff like Interrupt. So it's another option for you. I really like that they added the addition of type effect and slot boost as well. It means that once you actually have them, Zoro becomes your attack booster, and you can use him as your designated attack booster, as well as having all those chain shenanigans, utility. He's such a good character. Not only that, but he does damage with his special, so you can use stuff like your ASHURA support. That is just an absolute monster of a support for this unit as well. Alright, so moving on to Rumble now, and he does have GP stats, which is insane. He's an attack style that does have a power attack. He targets closest enemies, and his resistance is to damage over time and reduced damage taken from quick units. So, if you do verse quick units, this guy is going to be very, very good there. Slasher Free Spirit, you can probably slide him into most of those teams, but let's take a look at what he does for his special. Alright, so at level 10, his special on a 28-second cooldown targets enemies within a large range horizontal for attack 2.3 times damage, and then targets one enemy for ignoring defense for 1.5 times damage. So this whole like one enemy through defense basically means you're probably going to kill something. The horizontal range is a bit iffy, but 2.3 is a lot of damage, so you could do like you could hit very, very hard. 28 seconds isn't too hard to get as well, and I do imagine he's going to be sort of centric around slashers. Alright, so level 5 ability, Slasher teammates speed up level 5, attack up level 5, and when receiving damage up to 4 times, self-attack up level 1, and crit percent up level 1. So the whole idea is that every time he takes damage, he gives himself more attack, he gives himself more crit, and that crit is obviously going to help with his special, doing the 2.3 times and the 1.5 that goes through defense. And giving himself attack just means that that special is going to do a lot of extra damage. Obviously, Slashers all built around attack, all built around speed, and this particular unit is no exception to that. Whether or not he sort of finds his way onto the team or not is a little bit of a different story. I think Slashers, they need the cooldowns, they need the speed. He might sort of find a place on the team over something like maybe Kizaru or Carrot Wonder if that's what you use. But we'll have to wait and see how effective that special is for the amount of damage output. Going through defense obviously is so good because that's what sort of Slashers struggle with. Teams that have very high HP, very high defense, and then obviously like once they sort of throw out their attacks, right, you can just die. So still RNG centric with the one unit, but we'll have to wait and see how he goes. And I'd be interested to try this guy out in Rumble. You bet your ass I'll be trying him out in Rumble. Finally, we have his GP stats, and his burst ability you can use twice. It targets quick type enemies for defense down level 5, and then targets 3 enemies for leader base attack times 5 damage. So that is a lot of damage, but it's still very RNG centric with the fact that you actually, you just hit 3 random enemies. You do only need to use a Rumble special 6 times to activate it, so it's very, very easy to get, and the fact you can actually use it twice is very, very powerful, because you could basically just kill 3 units very, very easily with the 5 times damage. His GP leader skill, though, boosts Dex, teammates, attack HP, and defense up level 2, so not a massive defensive buff for Dex, but then he boosts Slasher / Free Spirit class teammates, HP, speed, attack up level 6. So this does not stack, or the way that it's worded does not stack. We might be wrong though, but for the way I'm reading it, it's that it will boost Slasher or Free Spirit class teammates HP up, speed up, attack up level 6. So for example, for this particular Zoro being a Slasher Free Spirit unit, he's not going to get level 12 HP, level 12 speed, level 12 attack. But I might be wrong there. From the way I can interpret it there and the way that I've spoken to people about it, that's sort of what I believe it's going to look like. But nevertheless, very, very good GP leader. And very interesting in Rumble with Slashers getting a lot more buffs. Alright, so there we go. Roronoa Zoro, Dead Man's Drawn Sword in Hell. Very interesting character. I'm very looking forward to this guy. Zoro was in the desperate need of a new legend, and I think they did him some justice. I think he's going to be very, very good. The fact that you can use stuff like your ASHURA support on him works very, very nicely. He has a lot of utility. He's got some great mechanics with chain shenanigans, which is always fun. And if you look at characters like Kid and Law, those types of characters can work very, very nicely. The fact he's Free Spirit means he's very, very good, because Free Spirit is like the best class in the game. He's a super class, which is great, but obviously no super tandem or super final tap does sort of hinder the unit, but it does make it more desirable for players, because they don't have to chase dupes with this character as well. But let me know your thoughts and opinions of this Zoro in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. If you haven't done so already, hit the big red subscribe button. Most importantly though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.